Yeah, man. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Che Yusuf from the House of the Daily Money Markets. So now, welcome to Africa Market Report. That I wanted to check it out. The market report of Africa about this year, especially this December. So there's a couple of things that is actually affecting the market here at home, here in homeland, which is Africa. We saw different countries coming up with a different method of increasing their their actually economy to grow so that they can become now be able to actually reduce the interest rate or be able to actually increase the interest rate. So there's a couple of articles that come out regarding the market in Africa. So we're gonna just go through it and just to see which actually side of Africa is being impacted, right now at the present. So the first one that I saw on, I think it was on a Bloomberg Economy News, so one of the biggest, global economy news that actually give, a best quality and a reliable, news. So there was news coming from Zambia. The Zambia inflation nearly 2-year high as a kwacha, to USD slump persistence. So they actually the Zambia inflation rate leaped to its highest level in almost 2 years in December as a currency world worst depreciation since the country became the African first pandemic era sovereign default in 2020. So we saw the Zambian kwacha actually dropping a little bit in terms of the value when you actually compare kwacha to United States dollars. So definitely, if the inflation of Zambia it drops, there's a lot of things that means is happening. Product they're now actually raising up, and the cost of living as well. They're actually going all the way up. So that's what is actually cooking in Zambia. The news actually come out yesterday. So I think yesterday that was the day that they were releasing the interest rate. That's why we're coming with this type of news. Again, moving on the south of Africa, maybe getting to South Africa, they actually celebrated the playwright of Mbongeni Ngema, who actually passed in a car crash at the age of 68. A very very well known artist from South Africa, and one of the biggest guy in terms of the struggle fights of this land of South Africa, actually passed on due to the car accident. So that's actually it's happening in South Africa. Very very sad moment. But if we move to East Africa or North Africa, Nigeria, Nigeria's antitrust agency imposes 110 million fine on BaT. So the BaT, it's a British tobacco. British American tobacco. So it's called the BaT. They actually posed the fine of 110 million by the National Anti-Trust Agency for violating various laws, including the Tobacco Control Act. So the agency called the Antitrust Agency, uh, that is actually go look in the different areas or different countries all over the world. They were actually checking how the company like a BAT, the British American Tobacco, how they're actually running their business in terms of tobacco in Nigeria. And then they find out that they're actually violating some of the law, including the Control Act, the Tobacco Control Act, so that a lot of people can just they shouldn't just smoke. It's hazardous. It can actually affect the human life. Gives you the cancer. And again, because of also now there's a agenda that is pushing of green energy. Then everyone in terms of the Europeans, they don't want the us in Africa to actually use this type of things that will bring smokes and that will pollute the environment. So that's the major thing. That's why the anti-trust agency are actually now appearing to the countries in Africa. and $110 million. It's a lot of money that Nigerians, they can be able to do something about it. And the news come out today on the 28th December 2023. Moving on, I was also seeing some news. I think it was on Kenya. Yeah, it was in Kenya. So the Kenya's Eurobond yield at a month lower after the coupon payment. So I think if you go through my videos, there was a video last month that we were talking about Kenya and borrowing the coupon of Eurobond that they're actually owing, that they need to pay back. So I think the deadline of payback was this month on December. So Kenya made an interest payment on its Eurobond maturity in June on a schedule according to the Danske Bank Asset Management. It triggered a rally in the bonds in Kenya. So the the yield bond coupon from Kenya. So the price being rise up a little bit because of they have actually paid the dates that they were supposed to pay. So that's what actually happening in Kenya. But the biggest one, I think the biggest one in December in terms of the whole Africa global economy, it's about the cocoa. The west of the cocoa rally is yet to come for a chocolate makers. To other videos, I explained already about sunflower, about cocoa, and how actually the Europeans, they're actually getting affected. So if you see this article from Bloomberg, it's actually talking about the world's largest chocolate makers are yet to see the full impact of the rally that sent the cocoa futures to 46-year high, right? The reason why there's a crisis in terms of the chocolate makers, that means we're going to see also chocolate, rising up in terms of the price to most areas, but especially I think in Europe. So the reason why there's no cocoa in one of the East Africa countries or East Africa countries is because of the poor crops in West Africa or West Africa. And West Africa sent the future to the highest in 46 years. Commodity price again yet to fully be passed on a consumer. So yet the chocolate, they're not made because of the cocoa. They cannot find the cocoa. The poor crops, it's been over 46 years since the West Africa having this dry season where they cannot be able to produce their product so that they can be able to sell all the way to other countries, to Europe. That actually affected the chocolate companies that produce chocolate, and the price of the chocolate right now in Europe, I think it has been raised all the way up. What else? It's actually making headlines in Africa global market. Nigeria nearly first ever deal to supply a gas to South Africa. So Nigeria have actually struck. This news comes yesterday on the 27th December. Nigeria-based Riverside LNG said it's in talks to supply gas to South Africa in what will be the first such a deal between the two countries. So the biggest deal between the two Africa major house or major country is gonna happen soon. I think the reason why South Africa also they're trying to get the gas from Nigeria, maybe it can boost the turbine that we are seeing that they're failing in terms of the energy crisis that this country has. So once we have more gas, we can be able to divert, maybe people start using gas again. Those gas can be able to be used to kick on the turbines, and then the turbines produce the electricity where everyone can be able to enjoy, and the load shedding can reduce a little bit. So yeah, man. In terms of Africa, I think the last one, it's Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, Yemen. How Israel Hamas fight risk world and Middle East war. So this one actually it's based on the Middle East, but probably the biggest news that actually come from yesterday today. It's one of them. was a Nigerian one that actually find the BaT, the British tobacco. And another one, the big one, it's about the cocoa, where there's a shortage of cocoa and they cannot find, they cannot find the cocoa so that they can make things like chocolate. But there's a different product that they do make from the cocoa. So if there's a shortage of cocoa, it's really, really, horrible in terms of, the chocolate lovers in Europe. So yeah, man, keep subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. And this is Che Yusuf from the Daily Money Market.